The dollar, the American US greenback dollar, goes further in some parts of this country than it does others. So we're gonna talk about what it takes to get this kind of shop built. Everybody wants to know about it. Everybody cares about it at the end of the day is money. Like, what can I do for this much money? We'll get that conversation going.
Our chief engineer spends most of his time in his machine shop, testing his automats over and over again.
Today is kind of a big day for me, but really for my dad. But we're here to help him. Got the trailer hooked up, and what we got going is Dad's shop. His shop's all done. So we're taking his car out of this shop, my shop, and going to his shop, which is cool. Because we're going to talk about what's it cost to build a shop these days in this particular economic climate. And is it worth it to do it now? Or maybe wait till after the Civil or World War. All right, Dad's on his way over. We're gonna load his Mustang up. We gotta secure a bunch of stuff. He's got stuff kind of everywhere in it. He only lives like 5 miles from here. Oh my gosh. He only lives like 5 miles from here, so it's not that bad. It's not gonna take very long to get there. And like, there's no highway driving or anything. But yeah, we're gonna get his car loaded up and over there. And you can see his shop and his place. It's cool. All right, we're headed to Dad's house. We got it loaded up, and we're just gonna watch it, make sure nothing shifts around. And like I said, Dad's house is super close, like 5 miles away, so no big deal. It looks like it's pretty stable, nothing's moving. Okay, headed over to Dad's, and what we're gonna talk about when we're at Dad's house is building the shop. Is it feasible? Now, you gotta keep in mind where we're at. The money, the dollar, goes further. The American US greenback dollar goes further in some parts of this country than it does others. I'm fortunate enough to live in a part of the country where that greenback American dollar goes a little bit further. I'm in the American southeast. I'm in the South, I'm in Alabama. So the dollar goes further here. And I know that for a fact that your lifestyle is different when you move from a high rent area like California, Arizona, where I'm from California originally. Before I moved to Alabama, I spent 7 years in the northern Arizona mountains. And when I first got there, it was decent, but then it went up, and now it's rivaling California on taxes and property taxes and just sales taxes, and the overall cost and price of goods has gone up a lot. Anyways, life's good down here. It's slower, it's cheaper, it's less stressful. Get a lot of hunting and fishing in. Life is good. So we're gonna talk about what it takes to get this kind of shop built. We're gonna talk about the construction of the shop, the pluses and minuses of building the way that Dad did, and yeah, we'll talk about you know, the main thing that everybody wants to know about, everybody cares about at the end of the day is money. Like, what can I do for this much money? And yeah, we'll be there soon, and we'll get that conversation going.
Show me the all damn day. Bumped in. Show me the all damn day. All damn day.
Dad's new shop. Check it out. There's this place. We'll do a quick walk around here. Just had the floors sealed. Looks like $1 million. Dad, tell the good people what size this shop is.
This is 30 by 40
30 by 40.
with 14-foot ceiling.
14-foot ceilings.
And it's insulated.
I think the plan eventually is, you still thinking about a loft?
Eventually down the
Yeah.
road.
This is a lot of ceiling. So the idea here was, you know, make sure you can get a lift in here. You could probably stack 2 in here if you wanted to. There's tons of room in here. So my shop's also 30 by 40, but this feels a lot bigger than mine just because of the ceiling, I'd imagine. But
Yeah, I'm
it's
sure
up
that's
there.
probably
So,
it.
and then, you know, Dad's got a man door in the middle and then 2 roll-ups. Everything's insulated. And the construction on this place is clearly wood, right, Dad?
The outside are metal planks, but the construction, the frame
Yeah,
is
the
wood.
frame is wood, and then it's
Basically
metal
a pole-
siding.
Yeah, it's a pole barn.
Yeah, that's all it is. This is a pole barn. So if you're looking to build a shop and you're in the South, this is what we do. Like this is the construction. This is the same as mine. So it's just metal siding, just like that. What's on those hay bales, and yeah, that's it. So Dad's got rock along everything. Eventually, I think he's gonna put some gutters on it. But here, let's walk around the outside of it real quick and take a look. So he's got. You don't have windows on the other side, just this side?
Just this side, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so 2 windows here. And he's still got plenty of room. Like, all this is his. There's that little garage there, and then there's the house. And then all the drainage kind of comes off to the back here. But,
Stuff out here for the grandkids.
yeah, you can see how meticulous my dad is. This is what he does. I don't have time for that shit. He does. You're being a retired guy. So yeah, that's the footprint, 30 by 40. Cut the wheel, cut it towards you to swing the back end. No, towards you. Yeah. Ready? All right, straighten it out. We're gonna just push it. I'm gonna take it over here. All right. You ready? Yep. Here we go. It's pretty close on this side. Well, stop. You need it. Okay, cut that wheel. There we go. Ready? Yeah. You can get it back. Ready? I'm gonna need some help. I'm barely holding it right now. Ready? There we go. It looks so small in here.
Look at that. It's home.
Have you ever had a fuel delivery issue and it turns out just didn't have any gas in it? Him. He's the culprit. So no gas. Seems to be running fine now. All right, Dad. So when you decided to have this thing built, why did you go with the pole barn style over like different kind of construction? Cost. What about like the length of how long it took to put up? This was going to go a lot quicker doing this way too,
It
right?
went up. They had a crew of 5 guys.
So how long did it take from nothing to where we're at now?
2 months.
2 months. And a lot of that was just coordinating everybody and getting them.
Everybody in here.
Yeah.
Waiting for concrete to cure.
Yeah. So Dad was telling me that one of the downsides about doing something like this is like when you buy a building from a company like this, you kind of had to GC everything, right? You had
Yeah. You pay for the kit. It's
Yeah.
a kit. And then they have a list of subcontractors.
Yeah.
But
You got to organize everything.
I got to
and,
say, okay,
and stay
I'm
on
ready
top
for
of them.
this.
Yeah.
Like I had to get the rock ready to put under here.
Yeah.
What do they call it? 45 or 75 or whatever the rock that has to go in here. I had to order that, make sure that was here before they laid the concrete.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot. There's some coordinating. Normally, I'm not used to having to do all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally you think you write a check and then your building just
Yeah.
goes up. But
And then the other thing I was surprised about is they don't clean up after themselves.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dad was a little bit miffed. There was a lot of cleanup
I
work
mean,
that had to
it's
go
just-
into it.
They put it all in a big pile and just left it.
Yeah.
And they said, no, that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
those are some of the things you can get when you take the cost savings route, I guess.
Yeah,
you know,
you
it's
do.
it's more
So-
it's more affordable for like normal guys, so we can
And-
build a building
and
like
then-
this. But that's what you get.
we had leftover stuff.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of 20-foot 2x6s left.
Yeah.
A number of them anyway. And then this. And I called them and asked them, do you want to come and get it? And they said, nah, you can keep it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, and then we had to put the road in. We actually had to,
Right. Yeah.
had
Just
to create a road.
yeah, that was an added expense for Dad's shop. Normally, I mean, you may or may not have to do that, but just where we decided was the best spot to put this is it kind of needed a new road going down here.
Not to
so.
mention the 31 loads of dirt that we're standing on.
There's a lot of dirt work over here too. This whole lot kind of sloped down this way, so we had to bring the back end up. Yeah, that was kind of what
Yeah.
what you're
So
looking at. So
there's
this
31
this grade right here was all installed.
So we had 31 loads of dirt. Then we put some big 2.5-inch rock down.
Yeah.
And then, while that was down, the contractors worked at building this and doing that and driving all that big rock down into the dirt. And we had rain, so it kind of, and then,
You had a lot of trees removed too, right?
yeah, I had 11 trees removed.
11 trees. So that
11
added to the
trees.
cost too.
Yeah, that's roughly
So-
700-800 a tree.
So for just like if a normal guy doesn't have to do all that stuff, they got a flat piece, they don't need dirt work. What would they expect to pay for this building like this?
Without this pad, it cost about 33,
34,000. 34,000. So, but that includes the concrete inside, right?
Inside,
Just
yeah.
not this part right here.
This part.
Okay.
Yeah. and
So
then-
34,000 you said?
Yeah.
With a insulated building, 30 by 40,
Insulated, yeah.
14 foot
You could get it
roofs.
cheaper without the insulation.
Yeah, how much cheaper without the insulation? Do
It
you
wasn't
remember?
that. It was only a couple grand.
A couple grand. Yeah, it doesn't make sense not to.
2,000 for all the insulation. That included the garage doors are insulated.
Okay. What about the windows? Was that like an
That's
add-on?
part of the kit.
That came with that?
You get 2 windows and a door, and then the roll-ups. They're 10-foot roll-ups.
Yeah. Would you use this company again if you had to do it again?
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
probably would. I mean, it's a lot of hassle to coordinate everything.
Yeah.
But everybody's very polite and very nice.
Yeah.
And it's
What about the quality of the tradesmen that came out and did everything?
the guys did a nice job.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is that I couldn't communicate very well with them because the foreman would speak English.
Yeah. And the laborers not
the
so much.
laborers not. But that being said, they did great work.
Yeah. So
I
even
mean,
the
look at the
laborers were
floor.
pretty skilled, right?
Look at the floor.
Yeah, the floor looks great. Everything in here
Yeah.
looks really good.
they did a real nice job. I would say that the only thing on downside said is that they need more of a communication liaison or something.
Yeah.
Because when they did the concrete work,
Yeah.
the boss wasn't here.
Right.
So the whole time they're doing all the concrete work,
Yeah.
I couldn't communicate.
But there's one thing you know for a fact. If you got 7 Mexicans showing up to your job, they're not leaving until it's done.
No, they did a great job.
And that's
they were here till 1:30 in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. They
were
stayed
here
out.
till 1:30
My
in the
dad was
morning.
like, I'm trying to go to bed, and those guys are out there still. All right, so that was a quick tour of Dad's shop. It is, again, let's recap here. It's a 30 by 40 with 14-foot ceilings. It's insulated. And the kit he bought included the pole barn, the concrete slab, and I think it was only a 4-inch slab. And I'm not sure on the PSI on the concrete, so I'll have to get that information if you're curious. 2 windows, 2 10-foot roll-up doors, and a man door, and insulated. And all in, he was at about $34,000 for that building. So when you break the math down on it, that's $28 a square foot, if I did that math right. If not, correct me. But that is below the national average from what I can see when I've Googled it over, like, hey, what's the cost average on price per square foot for outbuildings or anything. And I think a lot of that has to do with where we're at. Like I said, we're in the South. I live in Alabama. And the fact that it was a pole barn keeps it kind of cheap. But, I mean, my shop's a pole barn too. It's just finished out. I've got OSB on the walls and tin and blown and insulation up top. But this is just a pole barn as well. This building's actually 30 by 60, but the back 20 feet of it is apartment and an office space and apartment back there. But yeah, so that's what you're looking at, about $28 a square foot. If you're paying anywhere around there, I'd say that's a pretty good deal. What I've seen, the average is around $30 a square foot, so I think it's a pretty good deal. I can't remember the name. I'll drop it right here of who he went through to get that building built, but for him, it was a good experience. Not a lot of complaints. It went relatively quickly. You know, my dad didn't want to have to do a lot of the legwork, which I can understand. But really, for the amount that you're saving, I think you're doing that kind of construction, making a couple phone calls and just organizing some things, not a huge deal. Totally worth it. If and when I build another building on my property, which I may very well do another 30 by 60 or a bigger shop in the back. I got another acre in the back with room. I may use that company, but it's definitely going to be pole barn construction. It's just cheaper. It makes sense, and it's affordable. And that's, at the end of the day, normal guy like you and me and my dad and whoever's watching this, that is what we're concerned with. We're not concerned, like maybe rich guys are concerned with like the R value of the insulation more than I am and all that stuff. I'm concerned of like how big of a shop I can get for my dollar. And now you know, about $28 a square foot. My dad's 30 by 40, $34,000. Great build. It's gonna work well for him. 30 by 40 is plenty of space for a couple cars and one dude to work out of, in my opinion. And I think it's gonna be a good deal for him. So thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, please. That would mean a lot to me. And add some comments. Let me know what you guys are paying per square foot for your shop and what state you're in. And like, let me know if the pole barn construction deal bothers you. If you want like brick and mortar over pole barn kind of stuff, or steel beams or whatever. And then we'll talk about it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.